welcome to the continuing education class here at CSU. It's nice to have you joining us via Skype. For those of you that are in class, welcome back. This is a human development course for continuing education in the field of human study and furthering your personality and the personality developments. We are going to be taking an exam today. I know oftentimes when you hear the word exam, you tend to get a little bit nervous, a little bit stressed out, but it's not that kind of test. This is really introspection at its best. We want to look in ourselves and find out just a little bit more about each of us and maybe how we relate to others around us. So please just set your mind at ease right up front. Let me just address the classroom really quickly. If you will, please make sure that you do have, your Scantron with you. This is located at the bookstore and on campus in case you didn't get one and you want to make sure you get one. I think they're about $1, maybe $2. For those of you viewing at home, you do not have to have a Scantron form. Obviously, you're not going to be graded by a computer. Just make sure that you do have some kind of loose leaf paper. It's important that it's something that you're comfortable writing with. Now, I do know it makes it a little bit easier for you in the grading process if you have something with lines on it. But again, for those in the class, you do want to make sure you have your Scantron form available. I hope that everybody has brought something to write with. However, if you did not, I do have some extra sharpened pens, some pencils. We do want to use number 2 pencils if at all possible today. For those of you at home, you can use whatever writing device, again, that is comfortable for you. Something legible, like a blue or a black ink, something heavy like that. Also, I would suggest that you do have something with an eraser. It just makes things a little bit easier. If you will, go ahead. My assistant's going to pass these out. If you'll raise your hand if you do not have a number 2 pencil with you today, or if you just feel like you might need a backup pencil. Let's put these in here. Can you help me? Thank you. Okay, and my assistant's going to pass these out, so we'll just wait just a moment. Can you raise your hand? Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, just make sure everybody has 1 or 2. Yes, that's a good point. The pencil sharpener is at the back of the room. If you need to use that, go ahead and use it now. We don't want to get up during the exam and bother people. So go ahead and do that now. But again, like I said, we have plenty of pencils here. Don't feel like you have to go use your own. One thing for those of you in class, we have found that these lovely colored erasers do make a little bit of a mess on our Scantrons. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Okay. You can see here, everybody, the colored eraser kind of leaves this big smudge, and this is not going to be good for your exam. The computer does use, let's see, where is it? The computer does use things around the edges of your test to grade. It will also use what you've marked on your Scantron form. So make sure that you do erase everything that you don't want on there. No stray marks, no stray bubbles, that kind of thing. For those of you at home, like I said, if you're just using your blank paper, you can go ahead and put maybe, let's see, I think just 1 straight column would be the easiest way, 1 through 40. I will go ahead and let you know, though, a lot of people do like to make notes on this exam, and that's fine. They're just for you. They're not for anybody else's eyes but your own. That goes for you guys in class as well. Actually, while I'm talking to the ones at home, if I can get my assistants back up here. Thank you guys, I'm sorry. 2, 3, 6. Yeah, if you'll just hand out this extra paper. Again, if you will raise your hand, and the assistants will come around and help you. If you'll just make sure everybody has a couple of sheets. Thank you, that would be great. Yeah, just put the pencils back in the back. Once you've finished your exam, if you are finished with the pencil that you borrowed, just go ahead and put it. My assistant's going to have this box back at the back, and if you'll just put your pencil in there, that would be excellent. Thank you. Okay, so while they're passing out the paper, for those of you at home, again, what I was saying about notes, they're going to be just for your use. It's a lot of information to take in at once, so you're more than welcome to pause and rewind, but if you want to just jot down a few notes just so you can keep track in your mind of where you are, that might be helpful. Let's see. Oh, I do also apologize to you guys at home. We do have an on-campus veterinary service for the vet minors and majors on our campus. So you will probably hear dogs barking, cows mooing. There's all kinds of animals over there, right? We on campus are pretty used to hearing that, so you know, we tune it out. But if you hear that stuff at home, that's what you're hearing. If you do have a cell phone, also, if you'll go ahead and put that on silent, and I would appreciate that. Also, those around you would as well. For those of you at home, that reminded me. Like I said, this is going to be really laid back, really casual, kind of an exam. My kids here, we're really comfortable with each other. I've given them kind of a pajama day today. I've asked them to come in as comfortable if they want to. Please turn that on. Anyway, so I want you to be comfortable too. If you want to put some PJ pants on to fit in with our class, or just get in a comfortable seat. You can lay down if you need to. It's hard to write laying down, but if that makes you comfortable. I know one of our students here, when we have movie nights, likes to lay like straight out on their belly, so I understand. I've got some coffee here. If you've got something you need to drink, go ahead. If you want to get a snack and keep it handy, some people think better when they have snacks available, and that's fine too. And okay, a little bit about the exam, just so you're prepared for where we're going. They're going to be, wait just a second. This is a personality profile, that's all it is. I say exam just because that's, you know, the loose term for taking a test. But it's just a profile. It's just a profile. It's not a big deal. It is kind of lengthy and wordy, so we might be taking a few stretch breaks here and there just to loosen up and make sure nothing's too heavy, nothing's too serious. What I'm going to do is call out 4 words, and then you'll hear the definition of those words. The reason you're going to hear the definition, we all have different ideas of what words mean. You know, what might mean one thing to you means something totally different to the student sitting beside you. And that's okay. But for the sake of this, so that we're all on the same page, quite literally, I'm going to read out a definition, and it'll be our stock definition. So, turn it off. Thank you. Sorry. I've got a student here who feels like they need to be disruptive. Sorry if you can hear everybody laughing. It's a typical student thing. But anyway, we're going to use the stock definition, and that way we all know what we're talking about, so we can compare and contrast the words here. And the best way I think for you at home to do this is going to be to just, like I said, you can do 1 through 40, break it down in groups if you need to. When you hear a word that best describes you, write down that word out of the 4 each time. If you're not sure, if you have two words that you think may apply to you, then go ahead and write down both of those and we can figure that out later. If, for some reason, you just have no idea, all four sound like they may or may not be you, that's okay too. If you want to take a break or just put a question mark by that one, and then go ask somebody that you're close to, a spouse or a parent or a child, or just a friend, and somebody that knows you well, and get their opinion, get their help, and just ask them to be real honest about it. This is not something you need to lie about. You don't need to try to impress anybody. Nobody's going to see your answers except for you. So please don't try to pick the best answer. Pick the best answer for you. Let's make sure there's nothing else I need to tell you. I think that's all. Again, we'll take little breaks from here and there, and we're just going to do this really casually, really laid back. All right. Now, are there any questions before I begin? All right. I think we're good to go. If you guys in the class need a restroom break, the door is just right over there. Go ahead and take care of that. All right, I'm going to allow everybody to go ahead and get situated in your chairs, get stretched out. Take a few deep breaths, okay? Let's everybody take a few deep breaths just to get comfortable. Okay, are we good and relaxed? All right. Okay. I'm going to read 4 words. You pick the best word for you. Please make sure you listen to the definition so you'll fully understand. Number 1, adventurous, adaptable, animated, analytical. Adventurous, one who will take on new and daring enterprises with a determination to master them. Adaptable, easily fits and is comfortable in any situation. Animated, full of life, lively use of hand, arm, and face gestures. Analytical, likes to examine the parts for their logical and proper relationships. Number 2, persistent, playful, persuasive, peaceful. Persistent, sees one project through to its completion before starting another. Playful, full of fun and good humor. Persuasive, convinces through logic and fact rather than charm or power. Peaceful, seems undisturbed and tranquil and retreats from any form of strife. Number 3, submissive, self-sacrificing, sociable, strong-willed. Submissive, easily accepts any other's point of view or desire with little need to assert his own opinion. Self-sacrificing, willingly gives up his own personal being for the sake of or to meet the needs of others. Sociable, one who sees being with others as an opportunity to be cute and entertaining rather than as a challenge or business opportunity. Strong-willed, determined to have one's own way. Number 4, considerate, controlled, competitive, convincing. Considerate, having regard for the needs and feelings of others. Controlled, has emotional feelings but rarely displays them. Competitive, turns every situation, happening, or game into a contest and always plays to win. Convincing, can win you over to anything through the sheer charm of his personality. Number 5, refreshing, respectful, reserved, resourceful. Refreshing, renews and stimulates or makes others feel good. Respectful, treats others with deference, honor, and esteem. reserved, self-restrained in expression of emotion or enthusiasm. Resourceful, able to act quickly and effectively in virtually all situations. Number 6, satisfied, sensitive, self-reliant, spirited. Satisfied, a person who easily accepts any circumstance or situation. Sensitive, intensively cares about others and what happens. Self-reliant, an independent person who can fully rely on his own capabilities, judgment, and resources. Spirited, full of life and excitement. Number 7, planner. Patient, positive, promoter. Planner prefers to work out a detailed arrangement beforehand for the accomplishment of project or goal, and prefers involvement with the planning stages and the finished product rather than the carrying out of the task. Patient, unmoved by delay, remains calm and tolerant. Positive, knows it will turn out right if he's in charge. Promoter, urges or compels others to go along, join, or invest through the charm of his personality. Number 8, sure, spontaneous, scheduled, shy. Sure, confident, rarely hesitates or wavers. Spontaneous, prefers all of life to be impulsive, unpremeditated activities, not restricted by plans. Scheduled, makes and lives according to a daily plan, dislikes his plan to be interrupted. Shy, quiet, doesn't easily instigate a conversation. Number 9, orderly, obliging, outspoken, optimistic. Orderly, having a methodical, systematic arrangement of things. Obliging, accommodating, one who is quick to do it another's way. Outspoken, speaks frankly and without reserve. Optimistic, sunny disposition who convinces self and others that everything will turn out all right. Number 10, friendly, faithful, funny, forceful. Friendly, a responder rather than an initiator, seldom starts a conversation. Faithful, consistently reliable, steadfast, loyal, and devoted sometimes beyond reason. Funny, sparkling sense of humor that can make virtually any story into an hilarious event. Forceful, a commanding personality whom others would hesitate to take a stand against. Okay, that's your first 10. Go ahead and sit back, take a breather. Stretch your legs a little bit if you need to. Alright, are we ready? Is everybody good? You guys alright? See, I told you, it wasn't stressful. Alright, number 11. Daring, delightful, diplomatic, detailed. Daring, willing to take risks, fearless, bold. Delightful, a person who is upbeat and fun to be with. Diplomatic, deals with people tactfully, sensitively, and patiently. Detailed, does everything in proper order with a clear memory of all the things that happen. Number 12. Cheerful, consistent, cultured, confident, cheerful, consistently in good spirits and promoting happiness in others. Consistent, stays emotionally on an even keel, responding as one might expect. Cultured, one whose interests involve both intellectual and artistic pursuits such as theater, symphony, and ballet. Confident, self-assured and certain of own ability and success. Number 13, idealistic. Hold on just one moment. Can you see who that is? Yeah, just tell them that we're testing. Yeah, just tell them. Maybe just a few more minutes. It won't be that long. Yeah, you can put the sign out on the door if you need to do that. That's fine. Okay, thank you. All right, sorry about that. 13, idealistic, independent, inoffensive, inspiring. Idealistic, visualizes things in their perfect form and has a need to measure up to that standard himself. Independent, self-sufficient, self-supporting, self-confident, and seems to have little need of help. Inoffensive, a person who never says or causes anything unpleasant or objectionable. Inspiring, encourages others to work, join, or be involved, and makes the whole thing fun. Demonstrative, this is number 14. Demonstrative, decisive, dry humor, deep. Demonstrative, openly expresses emotion, especially affection, and doesn't hesitate to touch others while speaking to them. Decisive, a person with quick, conclusive judgment-making ability. Dry humor, exhibits dry wit, usually one-liners which can be sarcastic in nature. You guys, stop pointing at Andrew. I'm all too. Thank you. Deep, intense and often introspective with a distaste for surface conversation and pursuits. Number 15, mediator, musical, mover, mixes easily. Mediator, consistently finds himself in the role of reconciling differences in order to avoid conflict. Musical, participates in or has a deep appreciation for music, committed to music as an art form rather than the fun of performance. Mover, driven by a need to be productive, is a leader whom others follow, finds it difficult to sit still. Mixes easily, loves a party and can't wait to meet everyone in the room, never meets a stranger. Number 16, thoughtful, tenacious, talker, tolerant. Thoughtful, a considerate person who remembers special occasions and is quick to make a kind gesture. Tenacious, holds on firmly, stubbornly, and won't let go until the goal is accomplished. Talker, constantly talking, generally telling funny stories and entertaining everyone around, feeling the need to fill the silence in order to make others comfortable. Big Irish. Thought so. Tolerant, easily accepts the thoughts and ways of others without the need to disagree with or change them. Number 17, listener, loyal, leader, lively. Listener, always seems willing to hear what you have to say. Loyal, faithful to a person, ideal, or job, sometimes beyond reason. Leader, a natural-born director who is driven to be in charge and often finds it difficult to believe that anyone else can do the job as well. Lively, full of life, vigorous, energetic. Number 18, contented, chief, Chart maker, cute. Contented, easily satisfied with what he has, rarely envious. Chief, commands leadership and expects people to follow. Chart maker, organizes life, tasks, and problem solving by making lists, forms, or graphs. Cute, precious, adorable, center of attention. Sorry about that. Number 19, perfectionist, pleasant, productive, popular. Perfectionist, places high standards on himself and often on others, desiring that everything be in proper order at all times. Pleasant, easygoing, easy to be around, easy to talk with. Productive, must constantly be working or achieving, often finds it very difficult to rest. Popular, life of the party and therefore much desired as a party guest. Number 20, bouncy, bold, behaved, balanced. Bouncy, a bubbly, lively personality full of energy. Bold, fearless, daring, forward, unafraid of risk. Behaved, consistently desires to conduct himself within the realm of what he feels is proper. Balanced, stable, middle-of-the-road personality, not subject to sharp highs or lows. Okay, that concludes the next 10 that we have to go. If everybody wants to just sit back and relax for a minute and listen to the puppies barking outside. At least it's not farm animals, right guys? Just take a moment to yourself. Check back over your answers if you're at home and you want to look back over the notes that you've written. Make sure that you're where you want to be on your exam. Alright, since we're at the halfway point, let's just take a minute to stretch out a little bit. If you will, just take your neck and roll it around. Since you've been doing some scribbling and some writing, let's stretch our fingers out just a little bit. No, you don't need to make dirty hand gestures. Thank you. Alright, and if you want to just roll your shoulders back and roll your shoulders forward. Alright, let's take a few breaths. Alright, does everybody feel comfortable? Are we good? Okay guys, this next little section is going to cover more of the, I don't know if negatives is the right word, but weaknesses, I suppose, of the different personalities. So if you start to notice that things are going down and you don't feel great about it, it's okay, we're all there with you. But again, just be honest. Just, nobody else is going to see this except for you and the computer if you're in class, and me if you want me to. Okay, is everybody ready to begin the second half of the test? Alright, let's start the profile. Number 21, blank, bashful, brassy, bossy. Blank, a person who shows little facial expression or emotion. 21, bashful, shrinks from getting attention, resulting from self-consciousness. Brassy, showy, flashy, comes on strong or too loud. Bossy, commanding, domineering, sometimes overbearing in adult relationships. Number 22, undisciplined, unsympathetic, unenthusiastic, unforgiving. Undisciplined, A person whose lack of order permeates most every area of his life. Unsympathetic, finds it difficult to relate to the problems or hurts of others. Unenthusiastic, tends to not get excited, often feeling it won't work anyway. Unforgiving, one who has difficulty forgiving or forgetting a hurt or injustice done to them, apt to hold on to a grudge. Number 23, reticent, resentful, resistant, repetitious. Reticent, unwilling or struggles against getting involved, especially when complex. Resentful, often holds ill feelings as a result of real or imagined offenses. Resistant, strives, works against, or hesitates to accept any other way but his own. Repetitious, retells stories and incidents to entertain you without realizing he's already told the story several times before, is constantly needing something to say. Number 24, fussy, fearful, forgetful, frank. Fussy, insistent over petty matters or details, calling for a great attention to trivial details. Fearful, often experiences feelings of deep concern, apprehension, or anxiousness. Forgetful, lack of memory which is usually tied to a lack of discipline and not bothering to mentally record things that aren't fun. Frank, straightforward, outspoken, and doesn't mind telling you exactly what he thinks. Number 25, impatient, insecure, indecisive, interrupts. Impatient, a person who finds it difficult to endure irritation or wait for others. Insecure, one who is apprehensive or lacks confidence. Indecisive, the person who finds it difficult to make any decision at all. This, let me just pause right here. This does not mean the person that labors for a long time in order to make the perfect decision. This is somebody who just doesn't want to make any decisions at all in their whole life. And the last one, interrupts. A person who is more of a talker than a listener, who starts speaking without even realizing someone else is already speaking. Number 26, unpopular, uninvolved, unpredictable, unaffectionate. Unpopular, a person whose intensity and demand for perfection can push others away. Uninvolved, has no desire to listen or become interested in clubs, groups, activities, or other people's lives. Unpredictable, may be ecstatic one moment and down the next, or willing to help but then disappears, or promises to come but forgets to show up. Unaffectionate, finds it difficult to verbally or physically demonstrate tenderness openly. Number 27, headstrong, haphazard, hard to please, hesitant. Headstrong, insists on having his own way. Haphazard, has no consistent way of doing things. Hard to please, a person whose standards are set so high that it is difficult to ever satisfy them. Hesitant, slow to get moving and hard to get involved. Number 28, plain, pessimistic, proud, permissive. Plain, a middle-of-the-road personality without highs or lows and showing little, if any, emotion. Pessimistic, while hoping for the best, this person generally sees the downside of a situation first. Proud, one with great self-esteem who sees himself as always right and the best person for the job. Permissive, allows others, including children, to do as they please in order to keep from being disliked. Number 29, angered easily, aimless, argumentative, alienated. Angered easily, one who has a childlike temper that expresses itself in tantrum style and is over and forgotten almost instantly. Aimless, not a goal setter with little desire to be one. Argumentative. Incites arguments generally because he is right no matter what the situation may be. Alienated. Easily feels estranged from others, often because of insecurity or fear that others don't really enjoy his company. Number 30, naive, negative attitude, nervy, nonchalant. Naive. Simple and childlike perspective, lacking sophistication or comprehension of what the deeper levels of life are really about. Negative attitude. One whose attitude is seldom positive and is often able to see only the down or dark side of each situation. Nervy. Full of confidence, fortitude, and sheer guts, often in a negative sense. Nonchalant. Easygoing, unconcerned, indifferent. All right. We're getting close to the end. I'm excited to see where you guys end up, to see if you learn anything about yourselves that you may not have known. To me, this is just so interesting. I should have said this earlier, but if there's a word that you don't know how to spell, obviously for you guys in the class, all you're doing is filling in bowls, so that's fine. But for those of you at home, if there's a word you don't know how to spell, just do your best. As long as you can read it, that's what matters. Don't let that stress you out. Again, we want this to be nice and mellow and just a time of learning more than a time of stress. All right, let's do one last little stretch. Stretch out your back a little bit. Sit up straight. Make sure you're sitting up straight in these desks here, kids. Okay. Sometimes it's nice to just pretend like all the tension that's in your head and in your neck from the day just like oozes down through your body and sinks out of your fingertips and your toes. Just let it go. Just let it go. Alright. We've got 10 more to go, and then we can get to looking into what it means. Alright. Pick up those pencils. 31. Worrier, withdrawn, workaholic, wants credit. Worrier, consistently feels uncertain, troubled, or anxious. Withdrawn, a person who pulls back to himself and needs a great deal of alone or isolation time. Workaholic, an aggressive goal setter who must be constantly productive and feels very guilty when resting, is not driven by a need for perfection or completion, but by a need for accomplishment and reward. Wants credit, thrives on the credit or approval of others. As an entertainer, this person feeds on the applause, laughter, and or acceptance of an audience. Number 32. Too sensitive, tactless, timid, talkative. Too sensitive, overly introspective and easily offended when misunderstood. Tactless, sometimes expresses himself in a somewhat offensive and inconsiderate way. Timid, shrinks from difficult situations. Talkative, an entertaining, compulsive talker who finds it difficult to listen. Number 33. Doubtful, disorganized, domineering, depressed. Doubtful, characterized by uncertainty and lack of confidence that it will ever work out. Disorganized, lack of ability to ever get life in order. Domineering, compulsively takes control of situations and or people, usually telling others what to do. Depressed, a person who feels down much of the time. 34. Inconsistent, introvert, intolerant, indifferent. Inconsistent, erratic, contradictory with actions and emotions not based on logic. Introvert, a person whose thoughts and interests are directed inward, lives within himself. Intolerant, appears unable to withstand or accept another's attitudes, point of view, or way of doing things. Indifferent, a person to whom most things don't matter one way or the other. Number 35, messy, moody, mumbles, manipulative. Messy, living in a state of disorder, unable to find things. Moody, doesn't get very high emotionally but easily slipped into low lows, often when feeling unappreciated. Mumbles, will talk quietly under the breath when pushed, doesn't bother to speak clearly. Manipulative, influences or manages shrewdly or deviously for his own advantage, will get his way somehow. Number 36, slow, stubborn, show off, skeptical. Slow, doesn't often act or think quickly, too much of a bother. Stubborn, determined to exert his will, not easily persuaded, obstinate. Show off, needs to be the center of attention, wants to be watched. Skeptical, disbelieving, questioning the motive behind the words. 37, loner, lord over others, lazy, loud. A loner, requires a lot of private time and tends to avoid other people. Lord over others, doesn't hesitate to let you know that he is right or is in control. Lazy, evaluates work or activity in terms of how much energy it will take. Loud, a person whose laugh or voice can be heard above others in the room. 38, sluggish, suspicious, short-tempered, scatterbrained. Sluggish, slow to get started, needs push to be motivated. Suspicious, tends to suspect or distrust others or ideas. Short-tempered, has a demanding impatience-based anger and a short fuse. Anger is expressed when others are not moving fast enough or have not completed what they have been asked to do. Scatterbrained, lacks the power of concentration or attention. Flighty. Number 39, revengeful, restless, reluctant, rash. Revengeful, knowingly or otherwise holds a grudge and punishes the offender, often by subtly withholding friendship or affection. Restless, likes constant new activity because it isn't fun to do the same things all the time. Reluctant, unwilling or struggles against getting involved. Rash, may act hastily without thinking things through, generally because of impatience. And the last one, number 40, compromising, critical, crafty, changeable. Compromising, will often relax his position even when right in order to avoid conflict. Critical, constantly evaluating and making judgments, frequently thinking or expressing negative reactions. Crafty, shrewd, one who can always find a way to get the desired end. Changeable, a childlike, short attention span that needs a lot of change and variety to keep from getting bored. You made it. Congratulations. All right, take a breather. Okay, here's what we're going to try to do. Those of you in class, you can go ahead and start passing your papers up if you want to. Some of you are still working. I can see that you're still thinking about some of your answers, and that's okay. Go ahead and sit as long as you need to and work on those. The rest of you, if you do decide to leave, pass your papers up, put your pencils in the box at the back of the room, and have a good evening. And please, please, for the sake of those around you, please be quiet on your way out the door. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Hold on just a moment. Yes, ma'am. No. Okay, do you know hopefully that gave you a little quick moment to look over your answers and consider how you're feeling about them. What I'm going to do is read out a list of words, 1 through 40. If you hear your word mentioned, I want you to write an S beside the number. So let's say for number 1, you picked animated. If you have the number 1, and then you have animated written beside it, I want you to write an S beside that. So I'm going to go 1 through 40 right now. If you hear your word called by that number, write an S. If you don't hear your word called, just wait. We'll get to it. So here it goes. Guys, keep it down, okay? Thank you. All right, so what you're going to end up hearing 40 4 times. So just bear with me. Remember, we're writing an S if you hear your word. Number 1, animated. 2, playful. 3, sociable. 4, convincing. 5, refreshing. 6, spirited. 7, promoter. 8, spontaneous. 9, optimistic. 10, funny. 11, delightful. 12, cheerful. 13, inspiring. 14, demonstrative. 15, mixes easily. 16, talker. 17, lively. 18, cute. 19, popular. 20, bouncy. Hold on just a second. 21, brassy. 22, undisciplined. 23, repetitious. 24, forgetful. 25, interrupts. 26, unpredictable. 27, haphazard. 28, permissive. 29, angered easily. 30, naive. 31, wants credit. 32, talkative. 33, disorganized. 34, inconsistent. 35, messy. 36, show off. 37, loud. 38, scatterbrained. 39, restless. 40, changeable. Okay, so you should have some S's maybe. You might only have one S, you might have 39 S's. Either way, that's fine. And yes, I'll tell you what it means. Okay, this time we're writing C's. C as in cat. If you hear the word beside the number, write a C beside it. Number 1, adventurous. Number 2, persuasive. Number 3, strong-willed. Number 4, competitive. Number 5, resourceful. Number 6, self-reliant. Number 7, positive. Number 8, sure. Number 9, outspoken. Number 10, forceful. Number 11, daring. Number 12, confident. Number 13, independent. Number 14, decisive. Number 15, mover. Number 16, tenacious. Number 17, leader. Number 18, chief. Number 19, productive. Number 20, bold. 21, bossy. 22, unsympathetic. 23, resistant. 24, frank. impatient. 26, unaffectionate. 27, headstrong. 28, proud. 29, argumentative. 30, nervy. 31, workaholic. 32, tactless. 33, domineering. 34, intolerant. 35, manipulative. 36, stubborn. 37, lords over others. 38, short-tempered. 39, rash. 40, crafty. This time I need you to write an M. M. M as in monkey. Number 1, analytical. Number 2, persistent. Number 3, self-sacrificing. Number 4, considerate. Number 5, respectful. Number 6, sensitive. Number 7, planner. Number 8, scheduled. Number 9, orderly. Number 10, faithful. Number 11, detailed. Number 12, cultured. Number 13, idealistic. Number 14, deep. Number 15, musical. Number 16, thoughtful. Number 17, loyal. Number 18, chart maker. Number 19, perfectionist. Number 20, behaved. Number 21, bashful. Number 22, unforgiving. Number 23, resentful. Number 24, fussy. Number 25, insecure. Number 26, unpopular. Number 27, hard to please. Number 28, pessimistic. Number 29, alienated. Number 30, negative attitude. 31, withdrawn. 32, too sensitive. 33, depressed. 34, introvert. 35, moody. 36, skeptical. 37, loner. 38, suspicious. 39, revengeful. 40, critical. Alright, and the last one that hopefully will fill in all of your blanks is going to be a P. P as in pony. So just make sure that by the end of this list that every word has a letter beside it. If you find one that doesn't, you're going to need to go back and look through the list and see if you can find that word. Alright, this is P. 1, adaptable. 2, peaceful. 3, submissive. 4, controlled. 5, reserved. 6, satisfied. 7, patient. 8, shy. 9, obliging. 10, friendly. 11, diplomatic. 12, consistent. 13, inoffensive. 14, dry humor. 15, mediator. 16, tolerant. 17, listener. 18, contented. 19, pleasant. 20, balanced. 21, blank. 22, unenthusiastic. 23, reticent. 24, fearful. 25, indecisive. 26, uninvolved. 27 hesitant, 28 plain, 29 aimless, 30 nonchalant, 31 warrior, 32 timid, 33 doubtful, 34 indifferent, 35 mumbles, 36 slow, 37 lazy, 38 sluggish, 39 reluctant, 40 compromising. Here's what I want you to do. Go through the list, each column of S, C, M, or P, and add up how many you have of each. So go through your column of 40, and if you have 2 S's, then write at the bottom of your page S2. If you have 29, M's, write that. So you should have, even if it's just a 0, have the 4 letters S, C, M, and P, and 4 numbers. Make sure your 4 numbers add up to 40, or you've missed a word somewhere. Once you have gotten all of this information together, we're going to take a little restroom break and get a snack and stretch a little bit, and then we will come back and talk about the results. I want you to make sure that you're wide awake for that and just not starving and not needing to use the restroom. So thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for being willing to join us via Skype, and take a little break, and we will see you back in just a little while.